My first sexual experience, my first crush, my first heartbreak. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Oluwajoba. If you're subscribed for the first time, welcome. Please consider subscribing, and if you end up enjoying this video at any point, please smash the like button and leave your comment in the comment section. Let's interact. Yeah, all right, so today's video is a first time tag, as you might have seen from the title. So I was on YouTube a couple of months ago and I saw a couple of YouTubers that I like do this video, and I felt, oh, okay, it might be an interesting video to film for you guys. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into these questions, because I know that you guys are itching to hear my answers. Okay, so the first question is the first app that I check when I wake up in the morning. The first app I would say would be my Bible. Okay, no, maybe not my Bible. The first app I go to, I don't know if the music, yeah, it's an app. The music app is where I go to, because this is because I also use it for my devotion. So it's either the music app or YouTube, and that's because I go there for to listen to music when I'm doing my devotion. So that's basically the first app that I open every morning. After that, once I'm done with my devotion, it will be my Bible, but my first app would be either the music app or YouTube, depending on how I feel when I wake up. Next question says first broken bone. I don't know if I've ever had a broken bone. I'm trying to remember and nothing comes to mind. I wasn't that I don't know if I was that mischievous when I was young, or I can't remember. I don't know if I've had, but maybe I had and I can't remember. But as I am thinking about it, I don't think I've ever had a broken bone. Yes. First foreign country I ever visited would be the United Kingdom. Yeah, definitely the United Kingdom. Maybe that's why I love it. I love the United Kingdom. Yeah, that's the first foreign country I ever visited. And then first Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook post. Fun fact, I'm not really a Twitter girl. I have a Twitter account, but I really could care less. I opened it because I was told to open it. First Facebook post, for the life of me, I don't know, and I really can't go and look for it. But Instagram, I have two Instagram accounts, if you don't know. One is my business account, Journals Beauty, and one is my personal account, which I opened last year. So if you're not following me on any of these pages, please go ahead and follow your girl, support the brand, and I love you. Yeah, so on my business page, this was the first post that I put up way back in 2013. It was a job, no, it was a training an upgrade training that I went for, and I kind of liked the look and I put it up here. So this is what it looks like. And on my personal page, this was my first this was my first picture, yeah, on both platforms. Yeah. The next question is first makeup item. If I'm to think of like way back when I was young, I think the first makeup item for any girl, most girls, would be lip glosses. I mean, we used those a lot when we were younger, but having, growing up, I think my first makeup would be maybe an eyeshadow palette or something that I got. I can't remember what it is, but I'm just guessing that maybe it would be an eyeshadow palette, because I would have wanted to play with colors or something. But yeah, but as a child, it would be lip gloss. Definitely it would be lip gloss. First plane ride I ever went on, that would be to Port Harcourt. Yeah, Port Harcourt, Rivers State, Nigeria. And I can really remember that first flight. I don't know if I took flights when I was a lot younger. I think my mom said we traveled like in the country, but I can't remember for the life of me. I can't remember. But when I grew up and I could remember things, my first flight was to Port Harcourt, Rivers State in Nigeria, and I can remember I was so nervous, guys. Like, I was so nervous, happy, excited, everything at the same time. Like, oh my god, I'm finally going to be on a plane and I'm going to remember it. And it was so nice, it was so good. Yeah, I was really happy. I'm not ashamed of it. I was so happy. Yeah, I really remember it. It was to Port Harcourt, Rivers State. See me all cheesy and smiling. It was a good experience, I won't lie. And first time I ever got into trouble at home or school. As a child, as a Nigerian child, you get into trouble one way or the other. Even if you don't want trouble, trouble will come and meet you. It's just the way of life, you know. It's just the way things go. But I can't really remember like getting into trouble. I can't remember honestly. In school, because I attended boarding school from a really young age, so most of the time I was always in school, and I can't really like, honestly guys, I'm not trying to like form maybe I was a good girl or something. I can't remember. I can remember when I almost got into trouble, but I didn't end up getting into trouble. Yeah, what happened? So when I was growing up, I didn't used to, my dad didn't used to allow us go out. I didn't used to visit. I didn't have friends. I had friends like in school, but I didn't have friends I could go and visit. So once we left school. This was before secondary school. My dad didn't used to allow us go out, so I would literally be at home on vacation from school. I'll literally be at home all weeks or all month, depending on how long the vacation is. We're not allowed to go out. Yes, I know, guys. It was just the way I was brought up. And so there was this day after high school, there was this day, I think it was when Titanic was still a vibe, a thing. If you haven't seen that film, like, really. Anyway, so it was that time when Titanic was a vibe, and I remember that one of my friends had the complete CD. Yes, at that time we're using CD. We're using the CD player. So my friend had that CD player, and he was like, you can come and borrow it if you want. So I waited for my dad to go to work and headed out. So I went to his house. No, I went to my friend's house first, Titi. I'm sure you, if you're watching this video, I'm sure you remember this story. So I went to Titi's house, and Titi was like, let's go and see Emmanuel. And then we headed out and went to see Emmanuel. And at the time, it was really far from Titi's house. But Titi's house wasn't that far from Emmanuel's house. So I was one that went on a journey, basically. So we went to Emmanuel's house, and we gisted, we had fun. It was a lot of fun, And then when it was, because I knew when my dad was going to be back from work, I was like, guys, I need to leave. Let's say for example, we're supposed to be back by 8. I then decided to leave their house like by 4 or 3. I was like, okay, I need to start going before my dad gets back. And then we got outside, and it was raining cat and dog. Like, it was raining so much so that the drainage in that area was so full. Like, full that if you are not careful, you would walk and you would think you are walking on the ground, not knowing that you're about to fall in a ditch. Literally. It was so heavy that day. And I was like, oh my God, like, hey. So I won't get home today, okay? So we said, because it was still like about 3, and my dad would be back till like about 8. That was about like a 5 hours, what's it called? Like a 5 hours gap. And I was like, okay, I can still chill. Maybe by 6 or by 4 or something, the rain would subside. And guys, 3, 4, 5, the rain didn't stop. I was like, I have to be home. And I remember Titi was like, okay, let's go. Because Titi kind of understood, Titi is my friend, she kind of understood my dad. So it was like, I kind of know the kind of trouble that you will be in if you don't get home before your dad, that kind of thing. So she was like, you know what, let's take a bike. So we took a bike, and the rain subsided just a little bit. It was still heavy, but it wasn't as heavy as when you are riding and you can't see what's in front of you. That it wasn't as bad as that anymore. So she was not like, let's take a bike. So we took a bike and we started going. On the way, we fell into one of the drainage on the way, and we're like, oh my, I was like, see, by hook or by crook, I am getting home before 8. So Titi got down at some point, and then the bike took me home. And luckily, I got home about a few minutes to 8. I was soaked to the last bit that was on me. But I didn't even mind. I was like, I'm home. Immediately I got home, got into the compound. I didn't see my father's car. I was like, hallelujah, hallelujah. I was so happy. Then when I quickly dashed into my room, changed my clothes, wore my nightwear, I was so happy. I had the Titanic movie with me. I was like, this thing I went to suffer. So after I changed, went rest. I didn't even rest. I just changed, went into in the living room to play the movie. I just heard the horn. I was like, oh my god! Like, it was just at the nick of time. I was so happy. I was so happy, so happy. So I went out, welcomed my dad, and it was like, nothing happened. Nobody knew anything. Nobody said anything. We're all fine. We just continued life, like, nobody went out, and nobody, nothing happened basically. So I was so happy. So that was the one time I know that I could have gotten into trouble, like really big trouble, but I didn't. So aside that, I can't really remember a time that I got into trouble, unfortunately. Yeah. So next question is, first time I was allowed to put makeup on? I can't really remember, because I can't really say that I was not allowed to put makeup on, because the truth is, growing up, I was a tomboy. It was sometime in the university that I started wearing makeup and I started doing all that. I didn't used to like makeup. I didn't used to do makeup. So by the time I started wearing makeup, I was already allowed to. Do you get? So I can't really say when I was allowed. By the time I was in uni, so who would tell me not to wear makeup? So yeah. First YouTuber I subscribed to, I don't know honestly, guys, but I know that it's either Nikki Tutorials, Dima, Jackie, or Beauty by JJ. One of those four. I can't remember who I subscribed to first, but those were my first YouTube people that I used to watch consistently on YouTube. Yeah, those four people. My first boyfriend, that would be 100 level uni. My first year in 100 level. Yeah, that was when I started my relationship, my first relationship. My first car was a Mitsubishi. My first celebrity crush, I don't know if this is cheesy, but I'm just one of those girls that I don't crush on celebrities. I'm like, what's the point? Why am I crushing on them? The chances of me meeting them is 0.000000000 whatever. So why am I wasting my crush on, celebrities? So I don't crush on celebrities. I don't have a celebrity crush. It's just me. So, my first cooking experience as a Nigerian girl, growing up in a Nigerian home, your first cooking experience would have been maybe when you were 5 or 6 or something, as young as you can imagine, really, because I grew up cooking. I can't remember when my first cooking experience was, but I grew up cooking at home, so it's just a normal way of life. My first crush, yeah, I think my first crush would be in secondary school. Emmanuel was my first crush, I think. Yeah, I really liked him, and I think that was because I like when guys are really brilliant. Like, yeah, I have a knack for people that are intelligent and people that are brilliant. So yeah, it was my first crush was in high school, and he was the most brilliant guy in the class. And I just like when my guys are brilliant. I have a knack for people that know their stuff, they know their onions. Yeah, so it was in high school, but nothing happened. We were just crushing from afar. No, we didn't end up dating, unfortunately. Sad story. My first ever boyfriend, I already answered that. My first ever cell phone, I think my first ever cell phone was a Samsung. I think it was a blue Samsung that had the blue screen. When you put it on, it's usually blue. I'll try to look for a picture and insert it. It's a really old Samsung phone, and I think I got it. I can't remember when I got it. I think it was my mom that gave me, but I remember that it was a Samsung. It had an antenna, and when you put it on, it's usually blue. And next question is my first fear. I can't remember. I don't know. Thinking of it, I can't even remember what I'm actually afraid of. Sometimes I'm afraid of height, but sometimes I'm not. If I was afraid of height that much, I think I wouldn't have gone through the roller coaster ride and the insane rides that I did last year. So I wouldn't say height, but I feel that, I don't know, maybe the fear of failure, I think. Yeah, but I don't know. If I would think of right now as I'm filming this video, I would say maybe the fear of failure. That's like the first thing I would think of. Yeah, because I've had this for a very long, like as long as I can remember. I always want to do things, I always want to achieve them, always want to do them well. So maybe I would say fear of failure and maybe not doing something right, maybe. Yeah. My first friend in college, would be, I can't remember who my actual first friend was, but maybe I would say one of my long-standing friends, or one of my long-standing friendship since college, would be with Titi. I'm sure she's watching this video. Yeah, we've been. She's one of my OGs from like way back. Yeah, from like way back. Yeah, my first heartbreak. I really don't. I can't say, because I can't say that I've had my heart broken in the real sense of it, like my heart broken that you put on sad music and be all by myself. No, it hasn't just happened to me. Have I had relationship that didn't work? Yes, definitely. Have I had relationship that we going our separate ways made me unhappy? Definitely. But I have never had my heart broken. No, I have never. But yeah, I've had relationships where when we went our separate ways, I wasn't happy about it. I wasn't, like, I knew that it was the right thing to do, but I wasn't like, oh my god, good, I was unhappy. But I've never had my heart broken before, and as God will have it, I never will. By God's grace. My first internet activity, I think my first internet activity would be me going to the cafe and opening a Yahoo mail, because at the time that was what was the in thing at the time. A lot of us would buy time. I'm sure you guys know, you go to the cafe and buy time, 30 minutes, 1 hour, 1 hour 30 minutes, and you just surf the internet basically. So I think one of the things that I first did that I remember would be opening a Yahoo mail. My first job would be when I was in uni, because my dad had this business that when I'm not in school, I'm at home, I would go there and be the secretary, basically the receptionist. So I started working, like, I think, yeah, I would say uni. I can't remember the age, but I would say uni. That was when I had my first job, which was being a receptionist at my dad's office. One of his businesses, not his main office, his businesses, because he was a lawyer. So, but he had other business. So one of those businesses, I would resume there in the morning and close in the evening, and it was for free, of course. They raised us, so it was for free. My first job was for free, so I think that would be my first job as a receptionist in one of my dad's businesses. Yeah, so my first language would be Yoruba. That's what we speak where I'm from. And then, yeah, my second language would be English, and another language would be Calabar, but I've lost that touch, which is sad. But yeah, the next question is my first piercing and when did I get it? My first piercing is this piercing that I have in my ears, which I got. If you are a Nigerian female and you grew up in Nigeria, you most likely had your first piercing at the hospital, even before you leave the hospital. So I think that was when I had this, and this is the only piercing I have on my body. My first sexual experience, I'm not going to say anything about this, just because sometimes internet does not need to know certain things about you. So moving on. My first swear word, I don't use swear word. I try not to use swear word as much as possible. So I don't know what my first swear word is or was. I'm not sure if I even have one, because from a very young age, I've always consciously tried not to use swear words. So I don't have a swear word. Okay, so my first tattoo, I don't have a tattoo on my body. And yeah, I don't have a tattoo on my body. My first thought today would be, oh my god, what do I have to do today? I have to film. Yeah, that was my first thought. My first thought today. My first toy. I can't remember. I don't know what my first toy was. If you know what your first toy was, please leave it in the comment section. I want to know what your first toy was. My first YouTube video, I just started YouTube last year, so my first YouTube video was this video of me doing makeup for one of my amazing models. It was autumn, and we had this photo shoot. I collaborated with some amazing vendors, AD Pixels, He's an amazing photographer in Europe. So if you need your photographs taken, family photograph, portrait, whatever, you can contact him on Instagram. I'm going to leave his handle on the screen as well. I also worked with an amazing fashion designer. Her name is Dami, and HMD. I'm also going to leave our Instagram handle on the screen as well, so you can check this vendors out. I had an amazing time, and it was a blast. So that was my first video on YouTube. The first movie I remember seeing, so I would say maybe My Fair Lady or Sound of Music. Yeah, maybe one of those. I can't remember, but those are the movies that I would say that I would pick. Yeah, because I remember growing up, my dad used to make us watch that My Fair Lady a lot, and it was kind of interesting. I can't remember what happened in it, but at the time it was good. So yeah, let's go with My Fair Lady. The first person I talk to today would be my husband. I mean, we live in the same house together, so he's the first person I talked to today. Yeah, he's the first person I talked to today. The next question is the first person you text when something exciting happens. The first person I text when something exciting happens would be my husband. Yeah, would be my husband. Always my husband. Yeah, that's the first person I text when anything exciting happens. My husband. The first text I sent today, believe it or not, I haven't sent any text today. Yeah, I haven't. Just because I haven't. The first thing I do every morning, is my devotion. Yeah, my devotion. The first time you ever got drunk, I don't take alcohol, guys, so I'll pass. The first wedding I attended, I remember the first wedding I attended. The first wedding I attended was my auntie's wedding. I think, okay, no, let me rephrase this. The first wedding I attended, I won't be able to remember, because as a child in a Nigerian home, you'd have started attending weddings from your mother's womb. Disclaimer, just putting it out there. So let's move on to the next first wedding. So the next first wedding I attended was my uncle's wedding, and I was one of the flower girls. I think, yeah, I was one of the flower girls. In fact, I remember the song that we sang. I remember that we went to Abuja for that wedding. He gave us like a flower basket that we put on our necks, and we did "We're together, how happy we shall be." We shall sing the song, and as we are singing the song, we're putting petals on the floor so that the bride and the groom can walk graciously on the petals. You know, yeah, that was the first wedding that I remember that I attended. But before then, I'm sure I'd have attended a lot more weddings. The first time I got a speeding ticket, I have never gotten a speeding ticket. It is not a thing in Nigeria, so I have never gotten a speeding ticket. And the last question is the first time I got into a fist fight. See, guys, I usually say something. When people ask me if I can fight, I tell them I don't know. And the truth is, I can't remember the time that I actually fought, like physically fought anyone. I usually avoid doing that. In fact, I usually avoid tantrums and, you know, even exchange of words, all those things. I don't have strength for those kind of things. So thinking of it, I can't remember ever getting into a fist fight. I can't remember ever fighting publicly or privately. It's not just my thing. I'd rather just walk away, and this is something that I have, you know, tried to teach myself for the better part of my life. So I just walk away and yeah, avoid any form of fight or any form of exchange of words or stuff like that. It's not just me. So I would say I've never gotten into a fist fight before. Yeah. So guys, that brings us to the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed this first time tag. If you would like to recreate this video, I'll leave the questions in the description box below, so feel free to check them out. And if you enjoyed this video, please smash the like button, and if you are still watching and you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Join this family. We would love to have you every time. And of course, turn on the post notifications so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much, guys, for hanging out with me as always, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Jesus loves you. Bye.